Okay, so this video is kind of a second day appendix to the conic section parabolas that we've been discussing. And just to kind of do a quick recap, so if you want to see a more detailed video, watch the two other videos I did previously on yesterday, and that would be November 2nd, 2015. But let's go ahead and talk again very briefly about what these conic section parabolas are. So if I were to graph out something like this, and I told you the vertex was at 2, 2, and I told you the focus was at, oh, that'd be 2, negative 2, and then this is at 2, positive 2, focusing the vertex. Okay, so based on just the vertex, we know the equation will look something like this: y equals x minus 2 squared minus 2. And as we talked about, usually a goes in front of the parenthesis, but for conic sections, the new a is 1 over 4 times p. And we know that p is the distance from the vertex to the focus. If I count, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice how I went up 4, so that means it's positive 4. So it's going to be a equals 1 over 4 times 4, which is 1 over 16. So that's a in my equation. So y equals 1/16 x minus 2 squared minus 2. And as I mentioned in class to you guys today, we always want to move that minus 2, the y part of the vertex, move it with y this time. So that signifies that this is a conic section equation. Okay, and this is general form, and you can leave it like this, that's fine. But one way that you will see it on the worksheets and maybe some other problems, whether on the SAT or other standardized tests, is rather than the a being in front of the x, it's actually, you can move it to the other side. You can actually move this over here. But here's the weird thing about when you move the 1/16 over. You can't just simply move it over like addition and subtraction because the fraction is being multiplied. So what you do is you multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/16 is 16 over 1. And multiply by 16. So those cancel. And then I have 16 times y plus 2 equals x minus 2 squared. Okay, so the one I wrote in red is fine, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that you might see it the other way as well, where they may move a in front of the term that's not squared, where usually when we think of a, it's always in front of x squared. But with conic sections, they move it to the other term. So I just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. And very quickly, just kind of, let me clear all this here. And if we were to do another type of parabola, but this time a parabola that has a vertex here and is opening like this, so the vertex is at 3, negative 3, and we'll say the focus here is at negative 1, negative 3. All right. So I noticed that this is a parabola opening on its side, and what we're going to do with that is y and x will switch places. So it's going to be x equals y, and the y part is negative 3, so we do the opposite, plus 3 squared, and then we copy the x part as is, plus 3. We need to find the new a, and the new a, of course, equals 1 over 4p. The p is from the vertex to the focus, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But notice how I went backwards, so p actually equals negative 4. So it's going to be 1 over 4 times negative 4, which is 1 over negative 16. So that's the new a. So x equals negative 1/16 y plus 3 squared plus 3. All right, we're going to move the 3 over. And so I would have x minus 3 equals negative 1/16 y plus 3 squared. Okay, this is the general form for a conic section parabola, but you might also see it where they move a, or the 1 over 4p, in front of this parenthesis. They may move it to the other side, so multiply it by the reciprocal. So this would be negative 16 x minus 3 equals y plus 3 squared. You may see it both ways. Just want to make sure you're aware. Okay, So now that we've kind of recapped all of that, I should be able to help you with these next problems here. So for number 1, for example, identify the vertex and the direction of opening. Okay, so for a parabola, again, we know that it's going to be the x part, y part for the vertex, so x comma y. But notice how they're all both in parentheses, so we do the opposite of what it says. So the x part says x minus 2, so that means it's really positive 2. It says y minus 8, which really means positive 8. So there's my vertex. Yay. All right, and which direction is it opening? Okay, there's 2 things we need to look at. Well, we look at the new a, the 1/8, and notice how it's positive 1/8. Okay, so normally we think it opens up. All right, but with conic sections, remember the parabola can open up or down, left and right. Okay, so if I can do a little demonstration here. So normally if a parabola opens up, a is positive, right? If the parabola opens down, a is negative. But when y is squared, because normally x is squared when it's a parabola, but y can be squared this time, y is the squared term, it opens up this way, okay? And the way that we determine whether it's positive or negative, well, all these x values right here are positive, right? That's positive 1, positive 2. So that means a would be positive if it opens to the right. And if it opens this way, opening to the left, again, the parabola is going in the negative direction, because of all the negative x numbers. So that means if it opens left, that means a should be negative. Okay? So back to this problem. It's positive 1/8, so that means it's either going to open up or it's going to open to the right. But look here, x is squared. Okay? And if x is squared, that means it's going up. Okay? So my vertex is at 2, 8. And if the x term is squared, that means it's going up or down. And because it's positive, it's going to go up. Okay? Let's take a look at number 4. Why not? Just because I'm feeling crazy. So looking here, I'm going to write my vertex. So my x part is right there. So minus 1, we do the opposite, positive 1. The y part is plus 9. So we're actually going to do the opposite, minus 9. So there's my vertex. Then I'm going to look for 2 things if it's opening up, down, left, or right. It's negative. So it's negative 1/2, meaning it's going to either open down or it's going to open left. Okay? And it depends on which term is squared. The y term is squared, meaning it's going to be opening left. Just like this one is right here. Okay, so that's what you look for when you're determining the vertex and which direction it's opening. You look for A, just like we did before, but you have to make sure you look for which term is squared. If x is squared, it opens up or down. If y is squared, it opens left or right. Okay, taking a look, let's look at number 8. Vertex at the origin, opens left, 1 unit between the vertex and the focus. So let's go and draw a picture of what this looks like here. Let's see, vertex of the origin, so that means it's at 0, 0. Okay, it opens left. Okay, so it's going to open this way. And it's 1 unit between the vertex and the focus. Remember, the focus will always be inside the parabola. Okay, so the parabola will always eat up the focus. I like to think of it as a Pac-Man little thing. So the focus is always inside. So this is at negative 1, 0. All right, so if the parabola is facing on its left, we obviously know the y term is squared. Okay, so normally we'd write x equals y blank something squared, and then there's a blank here. But if the vertex is at 0, 0, wouldn't I just write plus 0, plus 0? So I really don't need to write the plus zeros. So it would just be x equals y squared. But there's one other thing we have to consider. Remember, we have to put the new a right here. Okay, and of course we know a equals 1 over 4 times p. And p is the distance from the vertex to the origin. And look, it tells me right here. 1 unit between the vertex and the focus. Fantastic. So that would be 1 over 4 times 1, which is 1/4. Fantastic. So a is 1/4. And again, the other way you could see it like 4x equals y squared, because the reciprocal of 1/4 is 4. But either answer is fine. I'm okay with either answer. All right, and the last problem we're going to go over is a problem like number 9. But for numbers 9 and 10, I always want you to assume p equals 3. So p equals 3 for both these problems. Okay, so my focus will be here for this problem. And for this problem, my focus will be here. Okay, so p equals 3 for both of these. But I'll just do number 9 here. All right, so I notice that the parabola is facing down. And then notice that this is the vertex at 5, 1. The focus, which I added in there and told you that the focus will always be 3 away, is going to be at 5, -2. So far my parabola is going to be y equals x minus 5 squared plus 1. Okay? A goes right here, and of course we know A equals 1 over 4 times P. And we said that P is 3, so that means it's going to be 1/12. So that means I'm going to put 1/12 in front. And then the last step is I'm going to move the -1 over here because this is a conic section parabola. So it's going to be y minus 1 equals 1/12 x minus 5 squared. Okay, so that is how you do all these sets of problems. I hope this helps, and good luck with your homework tonight.